Bonnie, Buju. Hello, everyone. My name is Josie Starr. I'm an enrolled citizen of the Fort Berthold Reservation. The 3 affiliated tribes are the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara nations. I'm also Omaha from Macy, Nebraska, and Odawa from Mequemcong, Ontario. I was born and raised in the Chicago Native community. The land that Chicago occupies today is the unceded ancestral homelands of the Council of the Three Fires, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations. More than a dozen other nations called this region of northeastern Illinois home, including the Menominee, Oto, Missouria, Iowas, Winnebago, Ho-Chunk, Meskwaki, Sauk, Miami, Wea, Piankashaw, Kickapoo, and Illini Confederacy. Long before European contact, the Chicago region was a place of great significance for transportation, agriculture, trade, and commerce for many indigenous communities throughout the Great Lakes. The innovation of these indigenous communities and the complex infrastructure they developed served as a blueprint for Chicago to grow and become the major metropolis we live in now. Despite the forced removal, displacement, and oppression of the original inhabitants of this land, Chicago is still home to one of the country's largest Native communities, representing over 150 indigenous nations from across North America. The presence of Chicago's thriving indigenous community today is a testament to its strength, determination, and resilience. Miigwech, thank you.
Members, NEA members.
Let's go. Go NEA.
Go. NEA members, guests, and staff, please help me thank Josie Starr from the Mitchell Museum of the American Indian for partnering with us to acknowledge the land we're on and the ancestors who were our original inhabitants here in this space and place. My name is Gladys Marquez, and I am a very proud high school bilingual ELL teacher here from the great state of Illinois. Yes. In a local right south of here, local 218. I am also a proud teacher at Eisenhower High School, home of the Cardinals. Yes. And a member of the NEA Executive Committee, as well as a member of the NEA Summit Design Team.
All right, thank you, Gladys. Hello, NEA. I'm Mark Jewell. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm an elementary teacher from Greensboro, North Carolina, and a member of the NEA Executive Committee and the Summit Design Team. And we are so excited to serve in this role and welcome you to the opening plenary of the 2024 NEA National Leadership Summit. Did you all enjoy our resident Summit DJ, DJ Cammett? Give it up for DJ. He is amazing. DJ Kimmett will certainly keep us on the dance floor later tonight, so get ready. Okay, I've got a question. Are there any first-timers here? Okay. I can't hear you. First-timers? Please stand up and be recognized. NEA family, let's welcome our colleagues with this amazing leadership experience. And if you did not get your first-time participants ribbon when you checked in for registration, please stop by and see a member of that dynamic registration team. And colleagues, promise me that when you see a first-timer, please take a few minutes to introduce yourself and share with them what makes this summit so special.
Mark, let me take a moment to recognize the NEA Executive Committee, beginning with our very own NEA President, Becky Pringle. Yes. Our NEA Vice President and the Chair of the NEA Summit Design Team, Princess Moss. Our NEA Secretary Treasurer, Noel Candelaria. NEA Executive Committee colleagues, Roberto Rodriguez from California and Christine Sampson Clark from New Jersey. Both of whom will share the NEA standards of conduct shortly. I'd also like to introduce our colleagues, Rhonda Martin from the great state of Wisconsin, as well as Shannon McCann from the great state of Washington State. Now let's give it up for yourselves. Let me tell you, the fact that we get to do this work together is an awesome privilege and leadership opportunity. Let's do a little call and response to keep the energy going in this space. When I say education, you say NEA. Education.
NEA!
That's what I'm talking about. When I say democracy, you say NEA. Democracy.
NEA!
There you go. When I say freedom, you say NEA. Freedom.
NEA!
Yes. When I say our right, you say NEA. Our right.
NEA!
When I say our responsibility, you say NEA. Our responsibility. Okay, Mark, I believe they're ready.
I believe they are certainly ready, Gladys. Through that call and response, Gladys lifted up the theme for the summit. In fact, that theme is going to be guiding all of NEA's national conferences this year. And we hope that this theme, set by our president, is evident throughout this experience, and even after you return home. You see, the summit is not a professional development conference, but is a leadership development training experience that offers content, skill building, and information to advance our leadership. The skills you learn this weekend are outlined in the NEA Leadership Competency Framework, and the framework, designed with and by educators, is research-based and defines what it means to an activist and a leader. These competencies will help you become better practitioners, better counselors, better tradespeople, better nurses, better faculty members. You will learn more about the 7 domains just a little bit later. So keep this in mind throughout your time here.
Speaking of your time here, there are a number of opportunities for you to activate your leadership. First, we encourage you to reflect. In fact, the printed program contains a reflection page. Write down your aha moments, things that you're curious about, and how you're going to use the skills learned here this weekend back home. There's also a downloadable and fillable version available to you on the NEA Summit app. And speaking of the app, if you haven't downloaded it, please take some time to stop by the registration desk or ask someone sitting next to you. The technology was designed to support and enhance your learning experience here this weekend. And one more thing, the NEA Pack. When we think of progress, the progress we've made and the work that we have yet to do to achieve our vision, one of the most important pieces of work we do is electing pro-public education candidates. There are many powerful stories of how our advocacy has directly impacted the policies and laws that directly impact our students, our colleagues, and the educational communities we all love. Just outside of the ballroom is a dedicated team of staff and NEA leaders who can help you join our efforts and build our collective capacity to promote, protect, and strengthen public education, democracy, and freedom.
Thank you, Gladys. NEA, help us welcome to the stage Robert Rodriguez and Christine Sampson-Clark. Come on.
Good evening, NEA! Woo! For those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Robert Rodriguez, and I'm a middle school special education teacher from California.
And I am Christine Sampson-Clark, she, her, a special education math resource room teacher, 9th grade, from New Jersey.
So before we begin our conference, we want to remind folks of our NEA Standards of Conduct policy. The NEA has adopted a standard of conduct policy to ensure that all of our gatherings are welcoming to all and free from discriminatory, harassing, or otherwise unacceptable behavior. Discrimination or harassment based on race, color, ethnicity, religion, sex, age, national origin, sexual orientation, disability, gender identity or expression, or any other characteristic protected by law will not be tolerated. If you experience any discriminatory, harassing, or otherwise unacceptable behavior, please feel free to contact myself or my colleague, Christine Sampson Clark. And thank you all for your commitment to ensuring a positive experience for everyone. Now, Christine,
Yes.
Please tell us a little bit about what this policy means.
Thank you, Robert. I sure will. So we have 5 standards of conduct that help us to keep this conference safe, just, brave for everyone, so we can have a good time, right? Yes, yes, yes. So the 5 are: respect others and their views, recognize and value individual differences, promote mutual respect, understanding, and cooperation as the basis of interactions amongst participants in NEA activities, events, or meetings. Maintain the reputation of NEA by conducting ourselves in accordance with high standards of professionalism. Respect members' right to express viewpoints that are critical of NEA, its policies, its officers, and staff without fear of retribution. Please note, harassment may also include written or graphic material, whether the material is shown or sent by email, through social media, placed on computer screens, or elsewhere, either during an activity, event, or meeting, or in some other way directly related to an NEA event or our NEA duties. Robert, that's it.
Thank you so much, folks. Have a wonderful conference.
Good evening, everyone. I am Al Lorenz, president of the over 137,000 members of the Illinois Education Association. Where you at? Welcome to Chicago NEA Leaders. Chicago is the 3rd most populated city in the United States and is home to culturally rich neighborhoods steeped in vibrancy and innovation. It is a city of leaders, from the artsy Bill Murray, John Cusack, and Jennifer Hudson, to the political Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, and later, yes, her husband Barack. You are here because you have been identified as a leader. You are equipped to head up thriving associations and to excel in your profession. We are so happy to have you here with us today. Let's face it, our lives are busy, but here you are striving to get a chance to concentrate on some of your best attributes. You'll have a chance to learn, develop practical skills, become a better advocate and communicator, hone your understanding of our organization, and strategize around fiscal health. The theme for this conference is education, democracy, freedom, our right, our responsibility. This is a wonderful theme for a venue of leaders. Just by being here, surrounded by other leaders, by other education advocates, by participating in an event that helps you grow your skills, you are assuming responsibility. By assuming responsibility, you are ensuring our rights remain intact. Education, democracy, and freedom are the foundations of our country. Thank you for stepping up and taking a risk. You will leave here with more skills, and we, all of us in the education world, those who work in it and those who learn in it, will benefit from your experiences here. Thank you and enjoy your time in this beautiful city.
Hello. I'm Dirk Andrews, use he, him pronouns, and I'm an elementary school educator from Wyoming. a member of the NEA Board of Directors, and a member of the Summit Design Team. I know my colleague, Gladys Marquez, is bursting with pride right now. It is my pleasure to introduce NEA member, Leaders for Just Schools member, Dr. Justin Antos, and students from Dwight Eisenhower School, not far from here. It's also the school where Gladys works. Yeah. Dr. Antos and the band have won awards. And if you spend any amount of time with him, his passion for students, for public education, for justice, and equity is evident. Gladys shared that Dr. Antos did not know a thing about mariachi bands, but he learned. And he started one at the school. We all know how transformative it is when our students, all of us, are seen. Dr. Antos and students, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your gifts with us and your talent. Thank you.
everybody. I'm Cheryl Bose, President of the Maryland State Education Association and a member of the Summit Design Team.
Hi, I'm Erica Jones, President of the Mississippi Association of Educators and a member of the Summit Design Team. Cheryl and I have a little trivia for you tonight. Sorry, there's no prizes for this part. We want everyone to shout out the answer. I will go first. Who do we know who is a daughter of a history teacher from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania?
Who followed in her father's footsteps and became a science teacher, spending nearly 30 years in the classroom?
Who is a die-hard fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, even though they didn't make it to the Super Bowl?
Whose favorite color is purple?
Wait a minute.
Wait.
Wait. Before you answer, Cheryl, I know there's a quote from The Color Purple. I think it pisses God off if you walk by the color purple in a field somewhere and don't notice it.
Becky would notice. Who is known as Nana B to Carter and Mackenzie?
Who is laser focused on making sure every NEA member understands their value, to remind them of the difference they get to make every day, and who ensures that NEA members understand how to use our power to fulfill the promise of public education?
Who has led the NEA through COVID and has lifted up our shared values of equity, justice, love, and democracy in all she does?
Okay, you all are all winners, and by now you know who Cheryl and I are talking about. NEA President Becky Pringle. She served 2 terms on NEA's executive committee. She served 2 terms as NEA Secretary Treasurer and Vice President. Becky was elected as president of the NEA during one of the most challenging times we have faced as a union. COVID claimed the thousands of lives in the United States and abroad, closed our schools, and devastated educators, families, and our communities.
But from standing on the landing of our Philadelphia home, reciting speeches and scriptures for her father, to fighting to be seen by the educators in her school who failed to notice her during tryouts for her dance squad, to chairing the NEA's annual meeting, to the halls of Congress and even the White House. Rebecca, we know her as Becky Pringle, is a powerful voice for NEA, for all students, for all educators. Help us welcome our phenomenal president, Becky Pringle.
Thank you. I'm live. Oh, we coming to that. We coming to that.
How you doing? Well, you're looking fine. Ooh. Action is the visible form of an invisible spirit, an outward manifestation of an inward power. As we act, we not only express what is in us and help give shape to the world, but we also receive what is outside of us and reshape our inner selves. As we come together this weekend, I just want you to let activist, educator Parker Palmer's words just kind of wash over you. Because that's what this leadership experience is intentionally designed to do. To create this space where you acquire new knowledge and develop new abilities and build new relationships. You dream new ideas and you challenge yourselves and others to give shape to the world and to start or to continue your own internal transformation, all designed so you can take action from a powerful and purposeful place. I am so excited that you are here to join us there this weekend. And there's a lot of new yous too. Yeah. We're on an adventure, did you know? We're on an adventure. We're taking on the challenge of refining and reshaping and even maybe, I don't know, redefining your own leadership journey so that you can use your inward power to take outward action in your unions and in your schools and on your campuses and in your communities. Guided by the 7 NEA leadership competencies: advocacy, communication, governance and policy, guiding and leading our professions, strategizing and protecting the health of our association, organizing, yeah, okay, settle down, princess, and developing and nurturing your social and emotional intelligence. I encourage you to take a deep, collective inhale. Okay, you can exhale. I need you to allow yourselves to be nourished by the oxygen of new wonderings and new perspectives as you participate in this experience of sharpening your skills and building our learning communities, seeing and embracing the hope and opportunity within every single challenge. And it is equally important that you freely exhale your own wisdom and your experiences and your lessons, because no matter your place on your leadership journey, you all carry within you this guiding light that can help illuminate the path of others. NEA leaders, I don't need to tell you about the attacks against educators who are fighting for the freedom to teach the true history of this country and how it impacts us to this day. I don't need to tell you about the work we are doing to ensure our students have the freedom to learn in the United States of America. I don't need to tell you that because you're living that reality every day, right? I don't need to remind you that we are in an era of fear-mongering book banning, a dangerous time where transgender students like Next Benedict suffer bullying, and lose their life by their own hand or by the hands of others, just for being their authentic selves. I don't need to encourage you and your activism around fighting for voting rights and a woman's freedom to make decisions about her own body. I don't need to tell you what's at stake, NEA. You already understand that your role as educators is clear. Education, democracy, freedom are our right. They are our responsibility. As leaders at every level of this association, you will never be deterred. You will never be distracted from your right and your responsibility to lead a movement that reclaims public education as a common good, as the foundation of this democracy. And you know that we can't stop there. Can we stop there? No, we cannot, because we must transform a system that was never designed for all of us. We can't stop until we have designed a racially and socially just and equitable system that prepares every student, everyone to succeed in this diverse and interdependent world. To achieve that vision, we must and we will continue to unabashedly promote public education as the foundation of this or any democracy. We will defiantly protect public education from privatizers and voucherizers and eduvoters with undaunted resolve. We must strengthen public education so it is a system that centers justice and is designed around the joy of teaching and learning. A system with a deep sense of community and shared responsibility where high expectations are matched with equitable resources and plentiful supports. You know, I get to travel all over this country to see and learn and be inspired by you. Stops in Michigan. Where you at, Michigan? Yeah. Stops in Michigan put me in a classroom where a teacher and an administrator and a school secretary and a diverse group of students taught me about their collaborative and safe and inclusive and very challenging learning environment that was strengthening public education in their Grand Rapids school. Grand Rapids in the house, okay. I hit the campaign trail with members determined to elect a governor in Kentucky who knows we have a responsibility to promote and invest in public education. I rallied with educators and parents and students in Portland, Oregon. Yeah. You'll hear from them on Sunday. All determined to protect and strengthen their public schools. I listened to the students at the United States Hispanic Leadership Institute and at HBCU's Clark Atlanta University and Morehouse College. They shared their stories about the issues that were impacting their education. It was a poignant reminder that our students know the importance of their public schools in our democracy, and they're already leading the way in promoting them. As we spend the next 3 days together, the question I need you to ponder and explore with each other is this: what is my responsibility? What will I do to nurture my own development so that I am the powerful leader in our movement to promote and protect and strengthen public education? In this critical moment in our history, let us commit to a continuous state of always becoming. In our journey of awareness, always striving to do better when we know better, and always channeling your inner Mackenzie Sue Pringle, having fun while standing in your power. I need you to always be ready to take action from the powerful place of not just saying, but knowing that the NEA is the largest labor union in this country. I need you to know that. And I need you to act like it. So NEA, we can and we will. Build a movement to protect and to promote and to strengthen public education. We can and we will advance the learning and the well-being of our students and the respect and the excellence of all of our educators. NEA, we can and we will organize for power every day, all day, so that we can win all the things. Win all the things. We're going to win all the things. All the things. We're going to win all the things. All the things. All of them. All of them. Everywhere. We're going to win all the things. What are we going to win? What are we going to win? What are we going to win? You know, I can still hear Dr. King calling us to be those creative dissenters who will call our beloved nation to a higher destiny, to a new plateau of compassion and a more noble expression of humanness. NEA, we must be those creative dissenters. As we lead this powerful union, we must be those creative dissenters as we mount this massive campaign, and we must realize the power in knowing that this is the work we have been called to do together. This is our work. This is it. And I need you to stand in that power every day. And I have no doubt then when our students need you, you will stand up. When your colleagues need you, you will stand up. When your communities need you, you will stand up because you are the NEA. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? NEA, let us take the actions of that outward manifestation of our inner power so we can shape this world into a place that is worthy of our children. Thank you so very much for all you do every single day, for showing up and showing out and reminding everyone we are the NEA. Yeah, I love you too. And we have a powerful session tonight. Every day we're going to focus on a different piece. Tonight we're going to focus on protecting public education, and we have just incredible people joining us. A parent advocate, we have a public school organizer, and we have the senior director for organizing from Race Forward's Heal Together campaign. Yeah. They're going to talk about the work they are doing and imagining in their quest to protect the foundation of our democracy. I need you to give it up a warm NEA welcome for Ms. Toby Hedgepeth. Come on out, Toby. And Miss Isabel Moore, come on out, Isabel. And Mr. James Haslam, come on out, James. All right, we're going to get our own chairs because, that's what we do, right? That's what we do. We're educators. We can do it.
Yeah. Do I need to grab a chair?
Grab that other one. I need my cards, Chris Angel. I need my cards.
Third one? I got it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to just have an intimate conversation. You can join us. You can listen in, but James and Toby and Isabel and I are going to have a conversation. So James, I'm going to start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about what's behind and really the why? We talk a lot about that as educators, talk about our why. So can you tell me a little bit about the why of the Public School Strong campaign? And just describe a little bit for those who don't already know the work that Heal Together does. Can you talk a little bit about that? And just say hi. Say hi.
Hey, everybody.
Say hi.
Thanks.
Okay.
Well, first off, President Pringle just laid out the why for a lot of the reasons why we're here, why I'm personally here, and I think this room is still a little bit on fire from
They
that.
are. Look at them.
So first off, for me, this is really personal. First off, I married an educator who is not only a public educator, was a former local NEA president and former Vermont Teacher of the Year.
Woo! All right.
So
love her.
In many ways, I understand from a spouse perspective what you all go through every day and how hard folks work. And we have 2 kids, and we've taught them, and I've certainly taught them about how important the role is of educators that is unsung, not given nearly as much attention as the role not only for our communities, but really ultimately, as President Pringle said, for our democracy. Really, you all are heroes of democracy, and people don't tell you that enough, so thank you.
Heroes of democracy. That sounds like something that should be trending. Did I say that right? Okay, all right, good.
And I just, this is really personal. This hits millions of people, but here I am working on this campaign. Last April, I was driving my kids, two multiracial public school students of a middle school, to drop off, and I got a pit in my stomach because there was police cars surrounding the school, and I was like, oh my God, what kind of tragedy just happened? And it turns out the tragedy was that educators were using a culturally responsive curriculum in the school, and Fox News got a word of it and featured some loudmouth parent to talk about how outraged they were, and some far-right extremists made death threats to the educators and the principal, and so that's why the police were there during drop-off. And so, it hit home on my family like it's hitting home on millions of families as we fight for the freedom to learn. So just this fight is so important for all of us, but it's deeply personal. And it's a demonstration of why this fight is something that Race Forward 2 years ago, when they launched Heal Together as a school district organizing initiative, it was in response to the backlash on teaching about critical race theory. And that was an engineered backlash that it was important for our folks to understand that this was not an isolated incident. This was part of a long history of efforts to divide our communities on race, to undermine, erode public support for public education, and not really let that democracy that you were talking about emerge in this country. So we launched Heal Together to work with parents, students, educators, have a strategy around school board members to fight for honest, accurate, and fully funded public education. We've been working for 2 years now, and it's been incredible to see folks getting involved from the West Coast to the East Coast, organizing in their communities to unite their communities around this. And we're going to talk about an idea that came out of our partners in North Carolina. And so give it up for North Carolina. So this idea was how to bring parents, community members working across school districts, how to bring them into their school boards where they could have a voice, show up together in school boards, be united, everyday folks coming together. And that idea was a campaign called Public School Strong. And Public School Strong was a campaign that had a vision for the future. So that wearing these t-shirts, so part of, it was training people to come to public school board meetings wearing a t-shirt so they're not alone and they can demonstrate that they're together and they can speak out. And it spread across, spread across the state to such a powerful degree that it's now being picked up in other states, in Tennessee and Ohio and Virginia and many other states, and we're so excited to share some of it with you all. And we think that together, there's close to 14,000 school districts in this country. We can train 3 or more leaders across those school districts to be part of this movement so that we can fight for that future where every single child has the right to have a school that they deserve. They have a high quality education, and educators have the support they need to be able to give them the skills and knowledge for the future. So it's just exciting to see how many people are getting involved and just exciting to be here tonight.
Yeah, all right. You're in the right place. What was that goal? What was that number? The goal?
Well, 3 times 14,000 would be 42,000 leaders or more. Yep.
Okay, NEA, that sounds like a challenge to me. 42,000. How many are we? 3 million? Too easy. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Okay.
So, Toby, I'm gonna go to you next. So, you're a mom?
Yes.
And a faith leader as well?
Yes.
So can you talk to our educators a little bit about what pulled you into this work? What made you come together with James and others to actually use that parent and faith leader voice to make a difference for your students?
Well, thank you for asking that. And I just want to get a little love from North Carolina. I'm a little nervous, y'all.
Oh, come on.
It's a lot of y'all.
It is.
Yes.
And there's one like that.
Yes. Yes. Well, it was a while ago. I do live in North Carolina, but a while ago I started seminary here in Chicago. at Chicago Theological Seminary. I was in a hybrid program, so I was back and forth. But it was during that time that I was in seminary. I was doing an internship with a local pastor, a local ministry leader. She was running for public office. And as a part of that time, I got to see and witness a lot of the attacks against public schools, against our communities, and what that looked like outside of my own experience. I have 2 boys in public schools in North Carolina in the 6th and 8th grade, and they would come home every day and they would tell me new stories, about how the school is just falling apart, about how teachers leave and never come back. My oldest son came home one day and he told me a story he said, Mom, there'll be a little extra money coming out of my lunch account this week. And I said, well, Bud, what, did you get something extra at lunch? He's like, no, I paid for the lunch of one of my friends in my class because he was embarrassed to go through the line because he has $100 in lunch debt and they never let him forget it. And I thought to myself, that's not something, a burden for a child to bear. So I started doing some work with an organization in North Carolina called North Carolina Alliance for Health. They were advocating with our General Assembly to get school lunches and school breakfasts paid for all North Carolina children. Yeah. And they actually did succeed. A part of that advocacy work where they got a reduced price lunch eliminated, which was great, but we're still doing that work. So it was a part of that work that kind of led me to Public School Strong. I received an email for that first training a year ago, and I signed up right away. And I was so grateful to meet Isabel and all the others in North Carolina who are doing this work and giving me a place to not just be mad, but a place to live out that anger and for a purpose. And we've been doing that over this last year. And, a lot of times we do it afraid. I spoke up at our county commissioner meeting last year, and I'm going to tell you, I was shaking in my shoes. But I recognize that those are the things that we have to do as parents to help advocate for the things that you need. And I am so grateful for that opportunity.
Wow. Yeah, we can't just get mad, right? We got to organize.
Yes.
Yeah, every day, all day. So Isabel, you just heard Toby talk about the impact on her and meeting you and learning that she could actually lift up her voice and join some pretty active folk in the movement. So you're also a mother, correct? As well as a former educator. Yes, yeah, I know. So the idea of bringing together different groups with different perspectives is one that this group here, clearly understands we have to do, especially as we're thinking about building a diverse movement. So can you talk a little bit about how it has been particularly helpful and provided a lot of hope to actually be a leader in the Public School Strong campaign?
For sure, and I have to say first, Toby gives me a lot of hope. I don't know about y'all, but the parent leaders that I get to work with all the time are what gives me a lot of hope. But to talk about the hope part, I kind of have to go back to when a lot of us were feeling way more hopeless than we are now, and that included me. I went through the pandemic as a single mom. I still remember what probably a lot of people remember here, the day that I was handed a homework packet through the window when I picked my kid up from school and told, we might be out of school next week. There's this weird COVID-19 thing in the news. This is almost 4 years ago, exactly this month, that we all went through that.
Yeah.
And I know it wore out a lot of the people in this room, and it wore me out as a parent too. And I saw the way that educators were really standing in the gap during that time, kind of duct taping together our society as it was falling apart before our eyes. So thank y'all.
what they do every day.
That's what y'all do every day, and I know during that time, that elementary school was the hub for our community, feeding people, getting people through, doing Zoom school, all those things. But I kind of dragged myself through that time exhausted, and was so relieved when my kid was back in the classroom. And it was his kindergarten year when the pandemic hit. By 3rd grade, he's back in the classroom. Things feel like they're getting back to normal. I'm in that school pickup line again, and he says, "Mom, guess what? We've got a 3rd grade rat now." And I'm like, "All right, things really are getting back to normal. It's, you know, a hamster in a cage or something. Like, this is great." I think maybe some of y'all know where I'm going with this from the laughter. He said, "Oh yeah, it ran right across the floor, and we had to stop our math lesson and get up on the desks, and it runs back and forth between the 3rd grade classrooms." And to him, it was kind of like a highlight of his day, you know, it was kind of like an adventure. So I laughed along with him, and at the same time, to me, when I really thought about it, it's like for him and his classmates, that's normal. That's a school. That's the value that our society puts on a school. That's the conditions that educators are teaching in and that children are learning in. And him and his classmates just think that's just how it is. And so luckily the janitor got rid of the rat, thankfully. It didn't put it in a cage, like got rid of it. I knew though that rat really stuck with me. Like, as funny as it was dead serious to me, because it meant so much more about the social workers that had been cut from the schools, you know, the roofs that were leaking, and the under-resourcing, the underfunding of our schools that was hurting kids and hurting educators. And so with that, it especially pissed me off, to be honest, when I heard about parents going to school board meetings and speaking in the name of all parents, not about those issues, but about book bans and critical race theory and attacking trans kids, among other things, right? So that kind of lit a fire for me where I was like, I've got to do something in this moment. We've got to get the focus back on the real issues. So I left the organization I'd been working for, took a position as a public schools organizer with Down Home, North Carolina. And this time last year, Public School Strong wasn't even, it was just the beginning of an idea. And my coworker Shawnee and I had been calling parents around the state, public school parents, to be like, what can we do? We heard from Nell in Craven County, who was like, I don't know what to do, but I'm just showing up at my school board meeting. I sit in the back. I'm not even sure it's safe to stand up and be counted, but I'm trying to be there. And Tanya in Alamance County, who was saying, there are people going to those meetings every single time opposing racial equity. And we need to find a way to push back on that. Maybe we need t-shirts. Maybe we need to go there and just be like, we're here. We're against what they're talking about. We're for a different vision. So all that came together with Todd and Letha, our Heal Together North Carolina chairs, to say, let's try something out. We came up with what became Public School Strong. Jerry Wilson, who I think is here, saved us from a much more less catchy name and came up with Public School Strong. And we had the first training that Toby came to in April of last year. We didn't know if we'd get the numbers. We thought maybe 50 people would come, 90 people showed up. Toby was one of them. And people were so into it that they said, hey, I've got some friends that need to be part of this. So we added a training the very next week so we could get people ready to go to school board meetings. And those trainings get people ready to understand what's going on in this moment, what's the stake, what are we up against, figure out how to attend their school board meetings, just the nuts and bolts, like where do you go, where do you find the dates on the website, that kind of thing. How else they can get involved beyond school board meetings, like what else can they do to make public comment, get active in their communities in different ways. And then finally, how they can learn more about building teams that are able to actually run campaigns and win things and organize on a much deeper level. So it's been going ever since. We're in 62 out of 100 North Carolina counties. We've seen wins and successes along the way. And so my hope has come back from a place that was like, some of the worst hopelessness I've ever been in, and people like Toby are part of that, and seeing this grow over the last 10 months is part of that.
Wow. Winning all the things. Winning all the things. So I'll start with you, Toby, but any of you can jump in here. A room full of educators who represent very, very diverse group from all over the country and around the world too. Can you talk to them about, from a parent's view, how important it is for them to work with, organize with, learn with parents in the communities?
You know, I think as I considered that question, I thought about, you know, what parents can do for you. And we're here. At least I know in North Carolina, where the parent numbers are coming in strong, we're here and we want to know what you need. You know, I understand how educators can become burnout. You know, as Isabel was talking about with COVID, I know how hard that was. You know, as a HR professional full-time, I pastor a church part-time. You know, I try to do my PTA duties as a secretary. We won't talk about that, you know. But I understand burnout, and I understand what that feels like and what that looks like. But I want you to know as educators that the parents are here. We just need to know what it is that you need so that we can properly advocate for those things. So when we go to school board meetings and we go to county commissioner meetings, we can start to speak up, afraid, but doing it because we know that it's not only going to support you and your work that you do every day, but it's going to help my child come home happy about learning, excited to go to school. So please, please just let us know what you need.
Wow, that's the why. Thank you for that. Isabel, I'm going to come back to you. Can you talk a little bit about some of the successes? You did that a little bit, but also some learnings. As educators, we always want to learn, right? When we know better, we do better. So just talk about how this took hold in North Carolina specifically, and what were some of the successes, the highlights of the successes and some of the learnings.
Yeah. So like I said, we've only been around 10 months. We've grown a lot during that time. And I'd say one of the top successes that we've had, I was talking to one of our Mecklenburg County leaders, where Charlotte is, of Public School Strong, who said when they started going to school board meetings, it was like the book banners ruled the day. It was like this cesspool of just negativity about public schools. But they've been going to every single meeting in their blue shirts, and now it's the public school advocates who set the tone in that room. Yep. And they get thank yous from school board members, from school leadership, from educators, and they know that they've changed that space to make more possible. We've got over a dozen Public School Strong members who are running for office at school board and county commissions this year. Yep. And we've got some wins on the local level. Johnston County, in the middle of the state, ran a campaign along with a Down Home chapter to actually get the county commission to allocate funds for school supplies. They won $840 million for that school system, the largest budget ever in Johnson County's history for schools coming out of the county commission. And $350 for each educator to use, so they don't have to come out of their own pocket for the supplies that they need to run their classroom. And I think the other thing I'd mention is two recent times that organized educators as part of their union in Guilford County, where Toby and I live, and in Durham County, saw the need to walk out because conditions and wages made that necessary for them. And Public School Strong leaders were able to be part of the conversation that helped parents understand that reality, so that the divide and conquer stuff between parents and educators wasn't going to work. And we feel like that's part of what Public School Strong can do, is help us knit together and say we're not going to be divided, we're not going to be pitted against each other, we're not going to be pulled apart. So those are some of the successes that we're seeing. We're still building, we're still getting stronger. We hope to hit 1,000 people by the end of this year in all 100 counties of North Carolina. And we will, if not before the end of the year. So yeah, there's a lot of hope and a lot of success building as part of Public School Strong, alongside the Teachers Union in North Carolina, which is good.
North Carolina Association of Educators, all right.
Including our president down there, NCAE president.
So James, let's take this national. So we just heard from Isabel and Toby, you know, what was, and we actually wanted to create that experience for educators so they could actually, you know, feel and touch and know that it's happening in a specific place. But can you take us national now? So talk to us a little bit about what our hopes and dreams are nationally, where you're starting to see things start to take hold as we planted these seeds across the country.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen now, you know, some examples of essentially thinking about what's happening in North Carolina, now in Tennessee, and so on, as a pilot of how we can bring people, you know, 1,000 people, not just 1,000 people, 1,000 trained people in every school district as a starting place to take action. And so, you know, we think it's a beautiful model of getting people organized where they live. You know, the beautiful thing about public education as an organizer is that we all live in a school district. We all have a way to engage. And even if we don't have currently have a link as an active parent, or we're not working there, we're all stakeholders in the future there. And so we can bring this organizing model. And so partly, you know, it's incumbent on us, if we care about democracy. One thing that we think about a lot is, what are our opponents doing and why? And there's a reason why they've engineered these culture wars to erode public support. There's a reason why they're trying to privatize and dismantle public education. And that's because of the promise of, you know, of public education being able to actually be a source of a democracy where we can win all the things, where we can have, you know, the future that our kids deserve. And they don't want that because, you know, they won't be able to exploit people and the planet to the degree they do. And so this is how it informs our strategy about how we need to come together across those lines that are trying to divide us. And we need to be organized and have a culture of organizing around public education. Just like we need to, you know, do a lot of work to make sure that people understand that democracy is more than just voting. Certainly we have to get out there and vote, but democracy is something we have to be active in. And part of that is supporting our public education system. That's where it starts, and we build a culture around that. And Public School Strong is a model for us to be able to bring people in. Because, you know, there's a lot of people that are like, support this stuff. This is the thing. This is why they have to divide us. The vast majority of people support us. They support you. They support educators. They support public education. They support not having book bans. The things that our opponents are doing are trying to drive wedges that are not popular. We need to be able to have ways to bring people in, to be able to, you know, have roles, have training and support, make it easy as possible for people to do this work together in their communities, to show up at school board meetings, to have a strategy to recruit people like Toby, to run for school board in their communities, and then continue to work with those folks, you know, year in and year out.
So James, he alluded to this a little bit, said it a little bit, is a long time labor and community organizer. So you said it a little bit, but I actually want you to dig into that a little bit more and talk about your theory on the case, on how we actually build a powerful movement across the country from an organizing lens.
So what we're trying to do, you know, based on some of the lessons that are emerging out of North Carolina and Tennessee and others, is that for public education, there's, you know, two main places where we need to be able to take action: on the school district level and on the state level. So some examples of that, you know, we've heard about how to build these teams and make it accessible. we call it, Public School Strong a distributed organizing effort, because it's an area where we can host trainings. People can come to this 90-minute training. They can learn some of the basics, as Isabel was talking about, how to go to a school board meeting, how to speak at the public comment period, and how to start building a team on the school district level. And that is the beginning part. So we can build that structure across our states, so that we map out our school districts in the way that they are in these states, and start building those teams of 3 or more folks as a starting place to get organized at that school district level. Started preparing those folks to thinking about their school board as an ongoing thing. There's going to be a season for recruiting candidates for school board. There's going to be a season for trying to mobilize voter engagement to win elections. There's going to be a season for working with electeds to co-govern, so that we can actually support them so that they thrive and we can pass good policies. And that work, we build at the school district level year in, year out, school year to school year. And then we're also able to work across the state to take action, to certainly fight back on vouchers and efforts to privatize, as they are in North Carolina and in Tennessee and other places where Public School Strong is taking statewide action as they organize on the school district. But also, get to the place to move forward with policies to fully fund public education, advance equity, and so on. So essentially, we're having a model that makes it easier for parents and community members to know what to do, how to work. So working with PTAs, but having an organizing culture. So when the school year comes around, we're asking people what are their most important issues, and we can introduce them to organizing when the school year starts, as part of the culture of public education.
Organizing 101, ask them, right?
Yeah.
Find out where their passion is. Thank you. So I got to let you go. I don't want to, but I'm going to just come to each one of you. I'll start with you, Isabel. Just say one last thing you want these educators to know and be able to take home. James, I'm going to end with you, and you can say one last thing, but you also most especially need to tell them how they can get active in public school strong. Isabel?
Yeah, I would say thank you all for what you do every day in your buildings and your school buildings, but also by being the kind of leaders who show up here and know that we need to build that power and organize. And join us. We'd love to have you in Public School Strong, and let the parents and grandparents and community members that know about Public School Strong too, so that we can be stronger together. So thank you so much. I'm really inspired.
Thank you. And Toby?
I just want to thank you for having me. I feel like, I say that I'm just a parent.
Don't ever say that.
But I'm grateful.
We don't use those words here at NEA, do we?
I'm grateful to be a part of this with you, and to be able to speak up with you, and to be able to support you in all of the hard work that you do every day. Thank you for taking care of my children, and all of the children across these United States. We are indebted to you. Thank you.
Oh my God. James, how can they all get involved? Tell us.
All right, so I got 3 main ways that you can join us. So the first is, I think there's a QR code that we'll put up, and then it is in your app, around a training that's coming up on March 12th. So this is coming right up, that folks can come. This is an onboarding training. This is basically what they've been doing in North Carolina and Tennessee. This is anyone, anywhere can become a Public School Strong leader. So we'd love to have you all come.
Get a shirt, right?
Everyone who comes will get mailed a Public School Strong shirt. So we'd love to have you come. We'd love to have you invite people to come. Anyone can come to that, and we're going to start running them every second Tuesday of the month. So if the 12th doesn't work, we'll do it the second Tuesday in April and ongoing. Once people do trainings, the onboarding training, they get invited to deeper trainings. There's like a spokesperson training, how to work with the local media, how to get media coverage for your work. So there'll be other trainings that come after that, building your teams, being a team captain, and so on. But it starts with those trainings. The second is tomorrow, we've been given a room to do a workshop and just talk about how we can do this and dig in a little bit more. 8 a.m., Randolph 3. I think it'll be in the app. But come see us tomorrow morning, grab some coffee, and we'll chat about it. And then just also want to let you know, we're very excited to be working with the NEA. We're having a lot of conversations with executive directors in your states to figure out together, organizing partners to work on this so we can organize with parents and students and communities. And so feel free to reach out if your executive director or if people in your state affiliate haven't talked to us yet. We're hoping to have those calls soon and make plans state by state with you all. But just really appreciate this time and this partnership and want to continue to build together.
Thank you. Thank you. So, James, you reminded me of something I want to remind them of. That democracy is an action. You have to do democracy, right? I'm reminded of Reverend Dr. Bernice King, who talked about doing justice. It can't just be a noun. It's got to be a verb. Thank you for reminding us of that. Give it up for James. Yeah! And Isabel.